What is going on, everybody? It's your boy NothingButSkillz, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the state of the game they just had a couple minutes ago. Now, they gave us a lot of good information, everything coming from the new apparel event that's coming up, title update 6.1, so it's a little update to title update 6. So we will be seeing some changes to Negotiator's Dilemma, and we'll see that all in this video. I have the best of the best, everything you need to know from the state of the game in this video. So stay tuned, grab some popcorn, and just enjoy the show. They also talked about a new hardcore mode. Yes, a hardcore mode, but we'll get into all that in this video. So make sure you guys leave a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, use the comment section down below. But let's get into it. That's enough talking for me. Let's listen to what they had to say about title update 6.1.
Title update 6.1 is coming next week.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes, it is.
So that's going to be what? Normal maintenance window, 9:30 to 12:30.
Yeah, it should be normal maintenance.
Okay, for TU6.1, we've got the bug fixes that we're talking about just now. We've also talked previously about the Negotiator's Dilemma changes. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so the three-piece changed, right? Which is the grenade that gets thrown.
Yeah.
So there's a fuse now added to it. Now, the reason why that we think is a big improvement, right, is because of all the signaling that comes with it, right? You can actually see the grenade, you know that it's there, you can avoid harming yourself or harming your teammates because now they have a warning about it to get away. Of course, in PvP, there's also a warning. It's a good overall, I think, change for it. And it feels a lot more like a grenade, like it was kind of.
So that's pretty cool. A lot of people were complaining about Negotiator's Dilemma, how it didn't give you any type of warning. So the way they did it is it can still go off as fast as Negotiator's Dilemma used to go off at, 3 seconds, but there is a warning sign, like a trigger warning sign. So we'll see how that all plays out in PvP, because I know that's mainly where it was affecting players, where they felt like it was a little bit broken, where it would constantly just shoot those nades. But now players have learned to counter that, so it really isn't an issue anymore, but they did address it. So it's good to see that they are addressing different things. The next thing they get into is the winter apparel event, so let's dive into that.
There is a holiday event. Woo!
Yes.
We have an image. I kind of want to show the image before we kind of go into explaining what it is.
Okay.
Situation Snowball starts on December 10th. So, I mean, there's going to be some festive decorations on the login screen. There's going to be a holiday care package that has one of those hats I just wore. So I know a lot of people have been thinking maybe it would be that. There's going to be 3 pieces of equipment. I'm assuming that's similarly how the Black Friday caches worked.
Yeah, there's also extra items like that, yes.
But since there's an apparel event as well that goes with this, and more on that in a second, there's going to be 3 apparel event caches if you log in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Now on to how do you get the gun? Because the Hoarder NPC, I think it's the Hoarder NPC, not the Ambusher group, but just the Hoarder NPC will have one of those.
He's a member of the Ambushers, right?
Yes.
He'll have a hat on, right?
Exactly.
Yes. It's a guaranteed drop.
It's like, should we keep it secret? And then read these notes, and it's like,
that's fine.
Like, nah.
So you have a a snowball gun.
All right.
Yeah. It's a snowball gun.
It's a guaranteed drop the first time you kill the Hoarder. And then there'll be a chance following that after you get that guaranteed drop. I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there we go. We get a new guaranteed drop. You just have to kill the Hoarder. Now the weapon does confuse enemies, so it's going to be more of I'm going to mess around with this gun in the dark zone when you're playing other players, or just when you're PvEing, mess around shooting enemies, because it will confuse enemies, but it's probably not going to do a lot of damage.
The apparel event I mentioned before, entitled Silent Nights, that is starting on December 10th, so that's next Tuesday as well, and it will end basically on the last day of 2019, so December 31st. The keys that you get as well can be used 1 week longer than that, until January 7th.
Yeah.
They gave us our first look at the apparel items that we're going to be able to get. There are 4 different items, and for a holiday event, they went with a more tactical look because they were listening to a lot of the complaints. I think the last event we had was, the last really crazy event was the heat wave event, and people were like hating on it. They said, why do we have flippers, swim shorts, stuff like that? And for the holiday event, usually they would probably go with something like a Santa hat, a full Santa outfit, but they didn't. They went with a more tactical look. So depending on which one you like, there are a couple different items for you to pick up for this apparel event. I think they all look pretty good. Reaper looks really good. Midnight looks really good. Overall, they are all very well designed. So let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section. And these are the 4 outfits that you guys can get during this holiday event. The next thing they get into is the hardcore mode, and let's see what they had to say about this new mode coming to the Division 2.
0.
Speculate.
Dead.
Did.
Dead. So it's I'm super excited about it. It's a little side thing that some people in the office have been working on.
Yeah.
It's so we're going to talk about kind of how this fits into the whole Division 2 thing. Hardcore characters.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hardcore, just to describe the mode real quick for people who don't know, means you create a character, you start from scratch, you don't have access to your stash or anything that would give you an advantage from your other characters. You're completely isolated. You can play the game, it's the normal game, it's the normal campaign, no changes there, but as soon as you die, your character is permanently dead, and then you need to start a new one.
See, it sounds like a simple premise, and it is, but I think that simple premise changes everything. But this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I'm not being like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to overhype because this is something we're kind of trying out in a different development thing, right? It's more of a beta than anything,
For sure.
right?
It was developed a little bit differently than how we would normally
Yeah.
develop things, right?
Yeah.
It was very kind of a small group of people were really excited about the idea, kind of pushed it in because we're working on other things we haven't talked about. And, the small team said, hey, we're going to do this. We're really excited about it. We're going to put it in. And you know what? Like, let's just release it as soon as we can because we think the community would think this is cool too. So it was a little bit different than how we kind of normally have, kind of bigger packages with lots of people involved and lots of decision making and a big ramp up time, usually of months and months and months and months before release.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun.
What about you, Yannick? Where do you land? Are you as excited as I am?
I am really excited. I'm especially really excited to see just where people are going to go with it. And I was reading, and I see a lot of people that are just like, why are you doing that? I don't care about that. I'd rather have other things. And it's like, one, just understand that this is a side project that some people have been working on because they were like they thought it was fun, and that's really us just putting it out there and saying, hey, we have that thing, so how about you try it and tell us what you think about it. And two, it's definitely not something that's for everyone.
Sure.
That's for sure. Like, we don't expect everyone to go in there and have a great time because it can
Absolutely.
be super frustrating to die. But it's that kind of little thing that, as we've said, like from the first game, some people have been saying like, what about we had a permadeath mode?
Sorry, you go.
Well, I was going to say, like, the reason why it changes the way you experience the game, right, is there's not really a penalty on death if you play the Division 2, right? The thing you lose is time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And so really, like, what we're saying now is you don't actually, like, lose time. You lose your character. Like, that character is permanently dead.
Yes.
That's why it changes everything.
Yeah.
And this is going back to what Chad is saying. Will it affect your current characters? Not at all. This
No.
is entirely separate. And
New character.
that's why I think it changes everything. One,
Yes.
you're going to play entirely differently.
Yeah.
The types of gear you're going to go for will be entirely different. Do you want to answer that one?
When?
Yeah.
Well, that's 6.1. That's next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Next
kind of
week.
the cool thing with this. It's not something that we're wanting to hold on to forever. We just want to get it out there,
Yeah.
have people experience it, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to answer a few questions, because there's a bunch of questions in chat. This takes up a character slot. We're not adding character slots with this one, so that means that if you have 4 characters, sadly, you're going to have to delete 1 if you want to create a hardcore character. Once your character is dead, well, the slot is available again because you're not going to keep it. But yes, just to be clear, this takes character slots for the moment, at least. Again, this is the first iteration we're putting out there, and we're going to keep working on it.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, we'll want feedback on this, right?
Yeah,
This is something that we're
definitely.
super interested in hearing about where you want us to take this in the future.
Yes, definitely. Also, people asking about rewards, hardcore rewards, or whatever. There's a few. There's one actually.
There's one. I have a picture of
I'm
it.
not going to spoil it. But then once you're in the game, again, we're not changing anything. So that means it's the same loot drops, whatever, and everything. When you die, all of that is lost. There is no gameplay reward that carries over to your main character. So just to be clear on that.
So
that's it.
On that note, there's a couple of things. So next Tuesday, when you get into the game with the update of 6.1, you will see a character creation screen that looks a little different. And I think I have a picture of what that looks like that we can show you. So it's not a surprise to you. There you go, hardcore mode beta. Just so you get a warning what you're doing when you're making one of those characters.
Yeah.
And by the way, I saw a comment a while ago from Braden, who actually worked on this. He made this the screen and everything.
Yes.
He had commented, and unfortunately, we didn't get to see what it said because his comment was automatically deleted. But
You'll also notice some nice Christmas decorations on that screen. So that's part of the Snowball event.
Trash Panda Techie says, is DZ also a separate hardcore instance? Every hardcore character only plays on a hardcore-only server. You won't come across any other.
Like, if you go to the Dark Zone, you're not going to see non-hardcore players.
Yes.
Hardcore DZ is where it's going to be at. So I know there's
If
people
you're gonna go
I'm
rogue.
curious if people will want to do it, but you can.
Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
when this discussion first came up internally, I know that like you get a level 30 character and you're like, oh, the DZ, will I ever do it? One of the things we used to do back in my day on Diablo 2 was Iron Mans, right?
Yeah,
so what
yeah,
you can
right.
do is you would
Back
like,
in my days.
everyone would make a new character, you would all jump in, you would basically play through until you got to the level cap where you could go hostile with each other, which for us could be like, you know, go all the way to the DZ, do the intro mission, and then fight.
Yeah.
And then that would be your, you could do that as well.
Yes. Yes, Bleak Games, it's coming out on December 10th, next week.
Exciting. And there's another thing I have to show you. You mentioned before Vanity Rewards. This is the first one that's going to be included with hardcore. I mean, this is the only one planned right now. I still would love, like, if you completed everything or you managed to complete Tidal Basin or something, like if you got a sick outfit. But this one is maybe the best hat that's ever been included in a game ever. I'm just going to say it.
Spoiler.
I don't know. It's pretty cool. No? Why are you laughing?
That's great.
What? Yeah, no. Who else is into that? There you go. YOLO in 2019. Oof.
Oof.
Oof in 2019. Where's the... Why someone has to have a Baby Yoda remote by now.
Yeah.
Huh? No one? All right, there you go. But that you'll get at level 2, right?
Yep. And there's more,
Yannick
more?
only loved once.
right?
What's...
Sorry, I wasn't
supposed to
listening,
say
I was
that?
reading something.
I don't know that there's more.
There's more.
There's more what?
When you have different levels.
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more? Okay. All right, secrets.
Yeah. Maybe that's supposed to be a secret, so I apologize.
But this is since this is a beta, it's really important that people do give feedback. I think this one's kind of cool because if people love it and people want more of this, there's there could be more of this, right?
Yeah.
Leaderboards isn't something that's going to be in there, but it'd be cool if that came at some point. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
being
there's-
able to see.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things we want to add to it, and there's a lot of ways this could go in terms of evolving as a feature, but really depends on how people will react to it. If players are having fun with it, if they want us to like keep building, or if you guys think okay, no, that's not worth it, and then we'd rather do something else. So, but there's a lot of things we could do. Of course, leaderboards, more rewards. Maybe actually adding extra character slots.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's plenty of stuff we can do.
So we got some information on hardcore mode, and then the live stream from the State of the Game got really interesting. They addressed some of the hot topics, and let's listen to what they had to say.
Some questions in chat while we were doing that.
Yes.
So if you don't mind sitting around and answering a few things.
Let's do it.
Do you guys ever plan to release a game that isn't broken? But I think I get where that's coming from. There are some things we haven't talked about that aren't being addressed in 6.1.
Yeah.
Like
There's
Dark Zone stuff,
There's a lot of
PvP.
things, yes.
And
going
like, I guess to be clear, right? Like, what we're doing in 6.1 isn't like our answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are right. We're bringing up like a lot of this talk about PvP and DZ. A lot of people talking about loot.
Yes.
A lot of people talking about a bunch of other things. Right? So maybe we can answer some of those questions.
Yeah, and we're not going to have all the answers to those things today, but I just want to reassure people that there are people in the office working really hard on a lot of those things, even if we haven't said what a lot of those things are before.
Yeah.
I had Frederick on here a few weeks ago, and he kind of alluded to some of the things, like he wasn't happy with the loot system and those sorts of things.
Yes.
Yeah. because like, so like we, first of all, like, and maybe we haven't done a good job saying this, right? Like, we totally hear you when we talk about like, hey, there are way too many permutations, way too much RNG. I can't always make the build that I want to make. There's too many kind of blockers. Like I have a hard time finding loot that I am looking for. Like all of those kind of things, right? And we've put some kind of band-aids on, right?
Yeah.
On this kind of wound, so to speak. But really, right, like the intent isn't to continue doing that. The intent is to actually go and suture the wound eventually, right?
Yeah.
But that takes time,
Yes.
and that takes a lot of thought and a lot of effort. So we are working on that,
Yeah.
right?
There
we
are
have
people
much
doing that right
bigger plans, and we have been working on it, and we are continuing to work on that. And we don't have any concrete release date on that, but it will be in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we're really excited to talk more in detail about that too in the future.
Yeah. We've said there's a lot of things we're working on, and it's really, like I think every time we see feedback from the players, from a lot of you on where the game is at, and especially after TU6, where we made a lot of improvements with TU6. But it's never meant to be like the one update that makes everything great. You know, it's like it was like trying to fix what we can and all of that, but at the same time, it's thinking long term of what are the deeper changes we can make and all of that. So these are all the things that we're looking at now, and it just needs to be clear for everyone. But yeah, all of these are things we're working on. And just because we're making a hardcore mode doesn't mean we're not working on those. We have a big team, so we have a bunch of things that are coming.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen pop up in chat, I think it was Carlos McNuggets was asking before, it kind of ties back into that idea of what incentive is there to get certain loot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I mean, we've seen flashes of it, like the Eagle Bearer, like
Yeah.
was heavily incentivized by doing the raid, and
Yep.
Yeah. But even then, right? Like, you need a reason to want those things, right? Because just getting those things and playing the same old content that you already can beat isn't super exciting, right? So you need new motivators, right? And that's also something that like we hear a lot, right? And it's something that we also feel and really believe in. So, yeah. So it's yet another thing that we are absolutely working on.
it's cool. I wish I could grab all the answers for you right now, but
I mean, we're going to talk more about it, and when we said at the beginning, we made that statement. We said we want to be better at giving visibility and everything. Doesn't mean we can like open the curtain and just like show all the things we're working on. But as soon as possible, we're going to be giving more visibility. And here for all of those, I mean, like we're going to start actually explaining a bit more what we're working on. We're not going to wait until the last minute to just reveal everything and try to make a lot of noise. We really want to have a conversation and actually try to give a bit more light. And I realize that saying that now, while we are not actually going to tell you what we are doing, might sound a bit hypocrite of me, but it's we really mean it. We're going to show you more about that very, very soon.
Yeah.
we've seen some other things popping up just quickly, like the raid we talked about last time. It's coming next year. We still don't have a date for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's on the list as well.
Next
There's
year.
people asking, is this all coming with episode 3?
Yeah.
What are the expectations that we can give people around that?
So that's a really good question, right? So a lot of these changes that we're talking about, and this is a lot of improvements, right, are pretty core and fundamental things. And they're things that will not be releasing in TU3,
No.
right? So there'll be things that we are continuing to work on after TU3. Or, I'm sorry, episode 3.
Episode 3. Yeah, numbers.
Which
TU7
numbers
as
are
we
hard.
call it.
It's TU7, episode 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So like I say, said before, there's a lot to talk about. And
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
we don't have
Yes.
all of those things to talk about today, we will make sure that we try and maintain a really open dialogue on all of those things that are coming.
Yeah, because PvP came up as well. That's another one of those topics. That's something that we're looking at. Especially we're looking at the Dark Zone, right, and how we make that more engaging, kind of more intuitive, more about kind of interactions and stories from players, right? making that just really straightforward
Yeah.
and all about
Yeah.
player
Somebody,
agency.
I didn't catch the name, but somebody in chat earlier while you were talking about the loot game, and I know that, and was talking about recalibration.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like recalibration could fix all of the issues. Well, recalibration alone maybe not, but recalibration
No, but
is also part of the thing.
But it's part of the puzzle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, when we look at loot, I mean, we're looking at the actual RPG systems. So the way that gear is generated, the kind of stats that you have. We're looking at the knock-on effects from that, which is how we distribute loot. And then, of course, what's attached to that is like inventory management. Like that is the entire package, right? Like it's enormous,
That's the game.
right? It's kind of the game. But all those things are all interconnected, right? So it requires looking and fundamentally kind of reevaluating all of that together.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously that ties into a lot of questions I've been having when I've been having gameplay streams about balance and that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a lot of these changes affecting everything, obviously
Yeah.
the balance of everything is,
Yeah.
has to be addressed.
And that's not something that you want to like trickle in and have people rebuild all the time with, oh, we made this minor challenge. We want to kind of keep it together, kind of send it as a package so we're not asking people to do that kind of annoying, now I have to rebuild everything
Yeah,
kind of moment.
cool.